Hello! How is everybody? I'm hiding on a patio at my parents' lake house. I'll show you. We just got here for our family's summer vacation, and you can see the lake behind me. Kind of fun. My kids are all inside. We've been traveling since 4 this morning, and I'm hoping that they will not find me out here. So anyway, I wanted to come and I wanted to give you some tips so that you can make the most of your reset over the next 3 days. My name's Emily, if you don't know who I am, and I am a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, but I'm also a certified life coach through the Life Coach School, and I'm in Master Coach training at the Life Coach School. I have significant experience in thought coaching and helping people work through all sorts of things. I have a community where I coach almost 400 clients, but I work with them a lot on network marketing goals and things like that. But I also have clients that sometimes just want help with weight loss goals or changing habits in their life. And so I wanted to come on here today and give you some of these tips so that you can successfully complete your reset, because there are so many things that our brain does to us. And I want to explain this, okay? Because your brain on a cellular level, like on its DNA, is programmed to do 3 things. It wants to be able to conserve energy, seek pleasure, and avoid discomfort. And inside of your brain, you have your lower brain, that's your primitive brain, like your caveman brain. And then you have your prefrontal cortex, which is your higher brain. And your higher brain, your prefrontal cortex, that's the evolved part of your brain. That's the part of your brain that decided to do the reset this week. That's the part of your brain that thought, we're gonna do it, we're gonna start tomorrow, we're gonna be committed, we want this, we wanna change our life, we want a different result. And throughout the next 2 days, congratulations for finishing day 1, by the way. Hopefully you're all gonna go to bed early. That is my one biggest tip, is just go to bed early every single night. But your lower brain is gonna be what you are gonna be wrestling with this week. And your lower brain, like I said, is programmed on a cellular level to conserve energy, seek pleasure, and avoid discomfort. And what that means for you this week is that your lower brain is going to try and talk you out of some things. It's really misinformed about what it thinks is going to kill you. And so I'm going to give you some tips that you can use on yourself this week when you sort of start to spin out, and when you might want to sabotage or affect your results in a way that you really don't want. Okay, so first of all, understanding that when you make decisions ahead of time the night before, that's thinking with your prefrontal cortex. That's what we want to do this week as much as possible. And then notice when your lower brain comes in and talks to you. Now, what's the difference between the two? Your prefrontal is going to sound like this in your head. Tomorrow, we're going to do the reset. Tomorrow, we're going to drink 100 ounces of water. Tomorrow, we're going to put the box in our purse and we're going to take it to work. Tomorrow, we're going to exercise while fasting. Your prefrontal is going to be making decisions ahead of time. Your lower brain is going to sound like this week. We can't do this. We're really hungry. This doesn't feel doable. I just need a snack. I can't do this. I'm not gonna make it. Your lower brain might say things to you like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this for 3 days, right? These are all things. Your lower brain is sort of that like devil on your shoulder, okay? So anytime that you hear your lower brain telling you this week that you're too hungry, you need a snack, this isn't sustainable, you're not going to be able to make it, you're so hungry. How am I going to be able to sleep tonight? I really just want a piece of steak. Like, number one tip that I want to give you is when your brain does this week, because it will, because you have a human brain and it's just doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Nothing has gone wrong, and your body is just misinformed about what it thinks it's going to make it die. Okay, you have everything that you need in the reset. And so you're getting 57 grams of protein, you're drinking 100 ounces of water a day, and you are getting all of your prebiotics, electrolytes, probiotics. You're getting all the vitamins and minerals that you need. So your body has everything that it needs, but your brain is not gonna wanna do it. And it's working properly. It's just trying to keep you safe. So my number one tip for you this week is to just notice your brain. And when it says things to you like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, I can't do this, how am I gonna be able to sleep? This is awful, I'm so hungry, or whatever it is that your brain is offering you this week, I just want you to notice it. I want you to welcome it. Because a lot of times what we'll do is we will resist negative emotion. Your brain is trained to avoid negative emotion. It thinks you're gonna die when it feels it, because back when your lower brain was first there in your body in the caveman days, it was there to keep you from leaving the cave so that you didn't get eaten by the lion that was outside. Your lower brain is also the part of your brain that makes you wanna be a people pleaser sometimes, where you wanna fit in with the group. And that's because in our caveman days, if you weren't liked by the tribe, humans are tribal species, and if you weren't liked by the tribe, then you weren't invited to sit around the fire at night and you starved to death. So this week, today, you've probably been noticing some of these things. Tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit more intense. The third day, a lot of people report that they feel more clarity. But again, you're going to be wrestling with this lower brain. And I just want to tell you right now, your brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Nothing has gone wrong. And so number one tip is notice your brain and what it's offering you. So when it says things like, we can't do this, we're so hungry, this is so awful, or there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. Instead of saying things like, oh, we can't think this, oh, we shouldn't be thinking this, or resisting it, what I want you to do instead is I want you just to notice, oh, that's so interesting. We think we're gonna die. That's good to know. Brain, I just wanna let you know, you can settle down. We're not gonna die. We have all the nutrition that we need to be totally fine this week. We're just gonna feel a little bit of hunger, and we're gonna be a little bit uncomfortable. And we are not gonna die from being uncomfortable. We just don't like it. So this is just good to know, brain, that we think that we can't do this, and that's making us feel anxious or deprived. Or you might feel a negative emotion like you might feel a little bit sad or something like that, right? Lots of different negative emotions that you're gonna feel this week, and then also a lot of positive emotions that you're gonna feel this week. I wanna encourage you to check off on your box every single day when you complete something. You drink your hydrate, check it off the box. You do your bone broth, check it off the box. By the way, the bone broth is something that needs extra spices added. Some of you were asking about this and wanted to give some clarity around this for you. You want to make sure you're mixing the bone broth up and you're adding the pepper, the salt. In your booklet, it will tell you all of the recommended spices, like the everything but bagel spice from Trader Joe's. If you don't have that, no big deal. Go through your pantry and see what spices you have and just add as many of them as you can to the bone broth, and then eat the bone broth with the spices. It's gonna taste so much more savory if you add all the spices in. So if you didn't do that today and you were like, I don't know if I like this, tomorrow's gonna be better, I promise you, because you wanna add all the spices that they're offering to you so it tastes really hearty and savory, okay? So when you are going through this and you're just noticing the things that you're thinking, I just want you to write them down. Like pull out the note on your phone and just notice what you're thinking all day long. Like if you're thinking a thought, oh, gosh, maybe you're feeling anxious. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so anxious about tomorrow. I'm already feeling hungry tonight and I feel like tomorrow's going to be worse. So I don't know if I'm going to make it. Just write it down. Feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxious? Your thoughts create your feelings. So any emotion that you're feeling, whether it's anxiety or fear or nervousness, whatever it is, it's being created by a thought that you are thinking. It's not because of what you're eating. Your brain thinks that it's because of what you are eating or not eating that's making you feel anxious or nervous or whatever, afraid or whatever. But it's not. That is your circumstance. The food you are eating every single day is your circumstance, and you're having thoughts about that food, and those thoughts are creating emotions in your body. You are also having sensations, which are different from emotions. Emotions are feelings, and they are caused by your thoughts. When you have a thought like, I'm hungry, that's not a good example. When you're having a thought like, I don't know if I can do this for 3 days, right? That's going to make you feel something like insecure. And the reason why you're feeling insecure is when you have that thought, I don't know if I can do this for 3 days, it's going to release a chemical inside of your body that's going to release hormones, and it's going to send a vibration inside of your body that's called a feeling or an emotion throughout your body. And I want you to sit with those emotions. If you're feeling anxious, I just want you to sit and be like, what does it feel like to feel anxious? Like as a 39-year-old woman, what does it feel like to feel anxious? Where in my body do I feel anxiousness? It's in my chest usually, and it's like a fast, quick feeling. And sometimes for me, anxiety feels like a burning white color. I know that sounds like a little bit weird, but when I sit with my emotions, that allows me to welcome them in and process them. Because a lot of times when we think things like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling anxious, I don't want to feel anxious, anxiety is bad, why am I doing this, I shouldn't be doing this, we resist our emotions and then they get bigger and harder to release. So when you process your emotions and you sit with them and you welcome them and you notice where they are in your body and the thought that you're thinking that's causing that emotion, right? That's when you'll be able to process it and release it. And you'll be able to just flow through it easier, okay? Because this week, these 3 days is gonna take some mental stamina for you. And again, it's just gonna be your prefrontal higher brain that's made a decision to do this ahead of time is gonna be arguing with your lower brain, your primitive brain that's just trying to keep you safe. And it's just misinformed about what you need to be safe. Right? So when you start hearing yourself, my second tip for you is to talk more to your brain this week than you allow it to talk to you. So number 1 tip is to welcome your emotions, notice what you're thinking. Tip 2 is, what did I just say, you guys? Tip 2 was to, what did I just say? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have gone back to review. Tip 2, talk more to yourself than you listen to yourself. So all week long, your brain's gonna offer you thoughts like, we can't do this, or I don't like this, or this isn't fun, or I wanna eat something else, or that steak smells good, or whatever it is, right? Like when you hear your brain talking to you, I want you to talk back to it more than you listen to it. So if you hear your brain say something like, ugh, I don't want to do this, or this isn't fun, or maybe it was fun today, but maybe it gets hard tomorrow, or maybe day 3, you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. When you hear your brain saying that, what I want you to say is I want you to talk back and be like, we totally wanted to do this. We totally wanted to do this. Remember how excited we were when we ordered it and we got our box and we couldn't wait to start? What were we thinking? Why were we so excited? Why were we so excited? Well, we're excited because we were thinking this is finally the thing that's gonna change everything for us. This is finally the thing that's gonna give me the results that I wanted, and I felt excited. I wanted to do this. I chose this. So when your brain is offering you things like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this anymore, that's where you talk back to it and you say, we totally wanted to do this. I know it feels like right now that we don't want to do it. It's fine, brain, I hear you. And I just settle down, brain. You can calm down. Everything is fine. We're just going to feel a little bit of hunger and we're just a little disappointed about it. Because really we just want to eat popcorn right now, but we're not going to eat popcorn because we decided that we were just going to eat what's in the box this week for 3 days. So that's what we're going to do, brain, and we're just going to feel a little disappointed that we can't have what we want right now, and it's totally fine. Let's just go be disappointed for a little bit. Come on, let's go, brain. Let's just go be a little disappointed, right? So this is going to be a huge game changer for you if you just talk back to your brain and remind yourself what else is true, right? So when your brain's like, oh, this isn't enough food, we want to talk back to it. We want to say, this is totally enough food. This is 57 grams of protein. That's more protein than we usually get in any other day. Also, we're getting all the vitamins and minerals that we need. We're getting all the electrolytes that we need. We're getting plenty of water. We're getting blood sugar balance. We totally have enough food. And your brain's going to be like, but this isn't enough food. And you can be like, I know. You don't think we're getting enough food. It's totally fine. You can totally think we're not getting enough food, but we're absolutely getting enough food, right? And this is what's true. We're getting 57 grams of protein. We're getting electrolytes. We're getting vitamins and minerals and prebiotics. We're getting plenty of food. So you're gonna settle down, brain. We're just gonna be a little uncomfortable right now. It's totally fine. We wanna be uncomfortable because we wanted a reset, right? So these are the types of tricks that you're gonna wanna grasp onto to make this week successful, because your lower brain is gonna wanna come in and it's gonna wanna seek pleasure. It's gonna want the cookie, it's gonna want the popcorn, it's gonna want the snacks, right? And it's gonna want that because it thinks that that's gonna bring you pleasure. It thinks that you wanna feel positive emotion 100% of the time, but that is impossible. If you were eating food that you wanted this week, like maybe today was really fun because it was day 1, but day 2 you're like, oh, wow, I'd really like to have what I normally eat today. Like when you're in that moment, right? Like you're gonna get to know yourself really well this week. You're gonna come face to face with yourself this week. And sometimes when we look at ourselves in the mirror really closely in ways like this, we're like, I don't really like what I'm looking at, right? And so you getting really comfortable with being uncomfortable this week, you getting really comfortable with negative emotion this week is your biggest power play. Because it's a lie that your brain is telling you that you should feel happy all the time. It is impossible to feel happy all the time. Even if you were eating steak for dinner tonight, you would still be having a 50-50 day. Because 50% of the time, every single day, you're gonna be experiencing positive emotions. And the other 50% of the time during the day, you're gonna experience negative emotions. It doesn't matter if you're eating steak for dinner or eating the tomato collagen soup. It's just that your brain thinks that if you were eating steak, that you would be happier, that you would feel better. And sure, if you went to go eat a steak temporarily, you would feel relief. And that's why your brain wants the steak or whatever it is, because it knows that if you give in, that it's gonna feel relief, and it wants to feel relief. Relief feels way better than disappointment, because negative emotion to our brain equals death, but it's not death. We just think it's death. We just have a lower primitive brain that hasn't evolved all the way. So whenever I am doing something like this, I have to remind myself to settle down. And I'll tell my brain, it's fine, just settle down. We're gonna just feel some disappointment because we really don't want to eat this right now. But if we go and we eat the steak right now, or whatever it is that we want, we're gonna feel relief instantly because we're gonna be thinking, I feel so much better. And then after, we're gonna feel disappointed because we didn't honor our commitment to ourselves to finish the reset. And then we're probably gonna have to comfort ourselves with something like a cookie because we're gonna feel shame for giving in. So when you are thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do this, or oh, I should just one little snack, just one little piece of steak can't hurt. I want you to talk back to your brain. I want you to say things like, it will only provide temporary relief, and then we're just gonna feel worse after. So what is our commitment to ourselves? Honor yourself these 3 days. Promise yourself, show up for yourself. Gain trust with yourself that you can stay committed to yourself this week, that you follow through on the promises that you make to yourself, that you know how to show up and commit to yourself. This is what this week is about for you. You can absolutely do this, and you're just gonna feel some negative emotion along the way. And it's not anything that's going wrong. Your brain's gonna think something's going wrong, but you're just gonna tell it to settle down and that nothing has gone wrong, okay? My third and final tip to you is to make every single night before you go to bed, decide ahead of time what you're gonna do and what you're not gonna do in your reset. Just one day at a time. Decide ahead of time the night before. So today, if you found that there were some things that were challenging for you, I want you to decide ahead of time what you're gonna do tomorrow to conquer that challenge. And it doesn't mean you have to just think positively about everything. You don't. What I'm talking about is decide tonight, like if today, if the afternoon was a little tricky for you, decide tonight how you're gonna deal with that tomorrow ahead of time. So for example, you might be thinking like, oh, maybe I'll just have a little snack tomorrow in the afternoon to get through. Is that what you wanna do? Decide tonight. There's no deciding tomorrow. If you decide tomorrow, then you're gonna be acting from your lower primitive brain, and that's not the brain that helps you show up as your best, most authentic self. We want the prefrontal in charge this week and pretty much always when we're trying to change habits and change our life. Prefrontal is how we make decisions ahead of time. It's how we hook our future self up, okay? So making decisions in the moment, that's the lower brain. We can't rely on that because it just wants to like eat cheeseburgers and french fries and watch Netflix all day, which is totally fine. We can do that after the reset if we want to, but this week we've invested in ourselves. We've committed to ourselves. We're not doing that this week, right? Maybe you're still gonna watch Netflix tomorrow, but what are you gonna do instead of eat while you do it? Decide ahead of time, right? So number one, I want you to be aware of what you're thinking and the feeling that it's causing within you, and then sit with it. Allow it. Welcome it. Remind yourself nothing has gone wrong. Step two, talk back to your brain more than you listen to it. When your brain is telling you, I can't do this, we're not strong enough, we're not good, this isn't enough food, we can't do this, you're gonna talk back and remind it what else is true. This is plenty of food. It's totally fine. We're just gonna feel a little disappointment. Nothing wrong with feeling disappointment. We're not gonna die by feeling disappointment. Feeling disappointment right now, we're still here alive and kicking. If we give in and we eat the food that we wanna eat right now, we're gonna feel disappointment after. We might as well just feel disappointment now, right? And then step number three, I just forgot what I said. Step number three was to genuinely, what did I say, you guys? Who's paying attention? My kids are swimming in the cove and it made me lose my train of thought. Number three, this is like a quiz for me. Number three was, what did I say? Somebody help me. Number one, number two, number three, watch the video back again. Oh, I can't remember. I want you to be, decide the night before what you're gonna do the next day. Hook your future self up. Decide ahead of time what you're gonna do and then honor it. You will become a different person this week, I promise you, because you're gonna look yourself in the face, you're gonna meet yourself, you're gonna become very honest with yourself, you're gonna learn to trust yourself when you've never been able to trust yourself before. And it's gonna change your life forever, and you're gonna see amazing results. So, thanks Amy for that. I just want to encourage you to hook your future self up. The Friday version of you that finished the reset the way that the box is telling you to do it, that version of you, you hooked her up. What would she do tomorrow on day 2 when she wants to give up? What would she, that future she or he, what is that future Friday version of you gonna say to you tomorrow in those moments of challenge? We wanna tap into our future wisdom. We wanna hook our future selves up, and we want to reset not only our bodies, but also our mind. You are so capable. And when the bugs are out, when you do this, you have your own back. You prove to yourself that you are taking all of your power back instead of giving it all away to your excuses and what everyone else wants for your life. No, you're taking your power back this week. You're taking your power back. You're putting yourself in the driver's seat. You're deciding ahead of time. You're tapping into the future wisdom of yourself, and you're showing up for yourself this week. I'm so excited to be here with you every step of the way. Tomorrow's gonna be an amazing day. Go to bed early, add all the spices to the collagen bone broth so it tastes really hearty and savory, and show up for yourself tomorrow. You can do it, I know you can. If you have any questions about mindset, or you wanna talk about some of the thoughts and feelings that you're going through, feel free to put them in the comments here, and I'll be helping you out there in the comments. Thanks for being with me here tonight, you guys. Bye now.